Allison. We're at Technical Services today, and we're going to be reviewing volatile matter content. Today, I'm going to show you how to determine volatile matter content in our materials. We determine the volatile matter content by using a quartz crucible with a lid. Alternatively, there's also a nickel chromium crucible with a lid you can use. This would only be used for a higher volatile material such as amorphous graphite or a green petroleum coat. The first step is you want to tear out the volatile crucible with the lid on it inside of our balance. Once you hit the tear button and you confirm you get an exact 0 reading, this is when we can add our material. Today we're just using standard synthetic graphite. You want to make sure the material isn't too coarse so it could fit in the crucible. If it's too coarse, you're going to have to grind it in the grinder. We're going to add enough material so that it almost fills the crucible. You want about 1/4 inch or 1/2 centimeter filled from the top. So I add material. You can tamp it down a couple times. You don't want there to be like oxygen voids in there, so that's kind of why you want to tamp it down. Otherwise, that's oxygen that can oxidize the material and give you a false volatile reading. So you can see it's very close to the top. It's not up to the brim, but it's close enough. You're going to put the lid back on, and you're going to record this weight on the scale once it's stable. This is our original sample weight, and this is always done on dried basis. So this material should have been previously dried prior to performing this volatile test. Okay, we have that weight down. So now we could put the volatile in the furnace for 7 minutes at 950 degrees Celsius. The volatile's in. Now I'm going to set the lap timer and make sure I put an alarm just so I could take it off as soon as the alarm goes off. Okay, it's been 7 minutes. We're going to remove the volatile from the furnace. You could place this in a desiccator if it's metal. If not, just putting it on a standard graphite block and allowing it to cool will suffice. Okay, now that the volatile cooled off completely, we're going to place it on the scale and we're going to measure its weight. So put the volatile in there. You're going to want to tear it out again until it's at 0. After we tear it out the balance, we're going to remove the crucible lid. And now we're going to throw out all of the material inside the crucible. You can throw this out just in the trash. If you want to save it for later, you can, but there's nothing you can really use with it. This would be considered calcined material. Okay, once we verify all the material is out of the crucible, we're going to put it back on the balance with the lid on it. Now we're going to write this weight down, and this is going to be our calcined sample weight. Now to get our total percent volatile, what we're going to do is we're going to take our original sample weight and our calcined material weight, and we're going to do some division. So first we take our calcined sample weight and we divide that by our original sample weight, and now we subtract it by 1. And now we multiply it by 100. And our volatile content is 0.15%. This is very low. This is because this is synthetic graphite. So it's already been graphitized at a very high temperature. That means it has very low volatile matter. And if you had a very high volatile and the lid blew off during the analysis, this is when you would use a nickel crucible with no hole in it. This is like a tight locking crucible. So when I have a very volatile sample, it's not going to let any gas or any sample escape. If it still escapes, that's when you're going to have to switch and use a lid that has a hole in it to let the volatile gas drive off. That way that no sample goes out during the test. And that concludes this procedure.